Okay, this says we're live. We hope it's right. Tonight we're starting part 5 of our business hangout on air training. It covers recurring events. When you set up recurring events, you have a choice of them recurring daily, weekly, or monthly. You have to make the choice when you set up the event. You cannot change it once you have it set up. If you change your mind, you have to start over from the beginning. And tonight we have a very special guest with us who knows all about this because she does it every week. And she's going to explain things to us. And so without further ado, here is Miss Heather Crafter.
But wait, I'm not ready. No, I'm kidding. All right. So recurring events, they're really cool. So I really want to talk about a few things, like the why you would use them. Maybe because you are planning on doing a series of events or a series of shows, whatever, and you want them to all be connected to each other. So that would be one way or one reason. And then another reason would be because maybe you want to charge people to attend your activities. So maybe you want them to attend a 2-part series or have access to all 3 parts of your demonstration that they've paid you for. Then you would use recurring events. Another reason to use them would be if you are doing a weekly, a daily, or a monthly show that happens at the same time every time. That would be also another time you'd use that. So for example, Business Hangouts does a Friday show called Office Hours, and they have it every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And I ran in from the store, so I need a drink. And that's at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And so every Friday you can go to the exact same spot on their website and you can sign up for that and all the ones that are coming up. And you can get an email reminder for those, and it's, simple. I do a live weekly show every Tuesday starting in September, and we use recurring events to do that. So these are some of the reasons why you would use recurring events. If you have no reason to use recurring events, learn about this in case you want to. Let's see. So how? I am going to screen share, I hope. Can you see that, Andrew? Yes, okay. All right, so this is the Business Hangouts Planner, and you use this just like you would use it for anything. You would put in your title, and we're just going to call this testing. Okay, testing to see it recurring, and that's what we're doing. There's my description. And let's make this for Saturdays in the month of August. And I see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Saturdays this month. And I'm going to do it at 7 in the morning. Who will be up that early to join me? All right, so now here is where recurring events matter. You want to click this. Can you see that, or do I need to make it bigger? You can see it. I see heads nodding. You can see it. Okay.
It could be a little bit bigger.
Yes, sir.
That's good.
All right.
That's good.
Okay, so here it says show more options. When you click that, it opens up more options. And this is where you would do your pre-event opening, post-event closing. We're going to leave those as the defaults, which is it opens now and it'll be unlimited. And if you want to know why, that's been explained already, I believe.
Yes.
And this is the part that we want to look at here, where it says automatically or by default, it will say non-recurring event. We want to use the drop down and change it. Now, as I said, I want to do this on Saturdays this month, so we're going to pick weekly. Now, if I wanted to do a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday program, I would choose Tuesday up here in this date. I would choose the Tuesday that I wanted to start on, and then I would choose daily. And that would automatically set up the next days for me. I don't have to change this to make it hook up the next day. Does that make sense to anybody who's watching? I see heads nodding. Okay, good. All right, so we want this to be weekly because we said we're going to do it every Saturday in August. And we know that there are only 4 Saturdays in August. So I'm going to change that ends after 4 occurrences. I only want it to create 4 events. That's what that means. Now, this is a test, so I'm not going to add it to my Google Calendar, but a good practice for you as a host is to always add it to your Google Calendar because that link will be deposited in your Google Calendar. You never have to worry about searching for an email. So then I would click Save at this point. Any questions before I click Save?
None here.
I see no questions. Okay.
I have one quickly, if you don't mind.
I clicked Save too fast. Go ahead, Bill.
Well, that's okay. You put in Tuesday and clicked daily, but how does it know that it's only Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday?
Well, you would put in the 3 days, the 3 occurrences in that Show More Options box where it says how many to put. You'd put in 3 there.
Understood.
And then it would know to do that Tuesday that you chose up here, and then the next 2 days after that.
Right, and then do that weekly.
No, if you're setting that up for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you would set that up for daily. I can do another one here. I'll show you.
Oh, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about doing one Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday every week.
Okay.
So
to do that,
yeah,
that might be a nightmare for you to set it up every week that way. What you would have to do is do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then make a new one, or add more occurrences after that.
I understand where you're going with it now. I thought it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday every week.
I'm sorry, I probably said that to you, and I apologize if I messed that up. No, I meant if you wanted to do just a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday event series, then you would set it up that way using the daily.
Okay, understood.
Okay.
Bill, the workaround for what you would want to do if you wanted to do it weekly was you could do it a month at a time, set up 30 of them, and then you go back and you delete the Saturday, Sunday, and Monday and Friday, because it'll set up a week's worth at a time, so it would set up 30 days worth, and then you go back in and delete the events that you didn't want, and it would leave those that you had.
Yes, and that's why I was saying that would be a muddy way to do it. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we have our recurring events are set up, and I want to show you in my scheduled events, all of them are listed there. Now you'll see here I've got test recurring event for tonight or tomorrow. I guess it's at 2 a.m. somewhere in there. That was me testing earlier, so ignore those ones. But see how it says August 8th at 7 a.m. testing to see it recurring, and then you come down here to the next one a week later, testing to see it recurring. It's the exact same title. I want to make sure that you understand when you set up that one, it will name them all, give them all that Saturday date that you asked if you choose weekly, and will give them all the same time. Now you can, if you need to for your purposes, go in and edit each individual one to a different title and even change their times. You can change that. So that is something to keep in mind. Excuse me. Okay, so we're going to go in and look at the event that we just set up. So now I've hit edit, and I'm looking at the advanced settings. Actually, I'm going to go back. That's not what I meant to do.
Okay.
Okay, so in this stage, after you've hit save, this is where you are. Okay. This link up here is the only link that you need to share for all of these events. Let's open it up in a new tab and see what I mean. Notice how it has our title, the date and time, and that it is a recurring link. So that means all these little check boxes down here are for each event that we have scheduled under this series of recurring events. Now, as a viewer, you or anybody who wanted to go to this, if I sent you the link, you have the option to either choose to only register for this event or check all and register for them all at one time. One link and you'll have the reminder to do all of them. Pretty cool, right? All right. Now under advanced settings, that is if you were just going to do the share the link just like that. That's the easiest way to do it. You can share that on Facebook, everything, okay? If you are going to embed on your website, you need to go to the customization tab, and under event page, you would embed this on your website. So let's copy this, and we're going to go to my website, and I've got a test page where I can play with this stuff. So let's go test page. All right, and under the text tab, I've already got an iframe in there. We'll just replace it with this one and update. And let's view the page. Now this is the embedded page, the embedded event on my website just as is, without making any changes. And there it is, exactly like you saw back here, same exact thing. No matter which one I give people, they will be attending the same event. Any questions to this point?
Yes, Michael has two.
All right.
He says, so if you wanted to do an event on every Monday and Tuesday for 4 weeks in a row, he would set up 4 Mondays and then set up 4 Tuesdays. And that's good. His question says, if you delete an event, does it come off of your calendar as well?
And the answer is no.
That's what I thought. You have to remove those manually from your calendar, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
That's what I thought. And he says, his next question says, so if you delete an event, does the check mark remove as well?
Yes. Yes, if you delete an event from the BHOA system, then it is no longer available to be seen, so they will no longer allow you to register for it. Some things that I have learned doing this. A, when you are in the customization mode of working on changing the title or anything of any one event, if you click Save All, it will change every changeable parameter for all of those events, past and present and future. That's a shocker to me, so I'm telling you.
Be real careful with the Save All button.
Save All means save all for eternity. So don't hit Save All, really. I mean, unless you know that that's a change that needs to take place, but it will not just change that change that you just made. It will make all changes.
Okay.
So any changeable parameter will take effect based on that one that you are working on.
Okay, so it's not just the series of recurring events that it changes that you're setting up. It blankets the whole thing.
Well, in the series. It changes all in the series. So anything that you've done in the past, anything that you're currently working on, and anything in the future that's in that event series.
Oh, okay. But if it's in another event series, it won't change.
Right. A standalone event or another event series won't be affected by this. Just the Save All works for everything in that series. So let's go back. I'm going to go back to screen sharing again. Let me get to it. Maybe I'm not going to get to it. Just a minute.
Next says, is there an option to save or save all? Yeah, we just hit that.
It's loading, so hang on just a second.
No problem. We have all night. Or at least I do.
I may need it. I wanted to share with you how you can extend a recurring series. That's what I want to show you next. but it won't let me because it won't stop loading. So hang on, I just refreshed the page, and here we go. Okay, that's crazy.
Well, we know how your computer is.
I know, what is the dealio? All right. Screen sharing, let me know when you can see it.
Okay, and John says he has a question.
You are welcome to ask, John. You just have to unmute yourself. Oh, go ahead, you're saying? No, really. There's nothing.
Okay. Hi, Heather. John in Kentucky, longtime listener, first-time caller.
Oh, man, I love it.
I've been wanting to do that for a long time.
That's awesome.
On embedding, and I've adjusted, and I'm going to share my screen if I can here for a minute, because I embedded an event, and it's not showing up. Okay, what I did is I embedded an event on my web page, and it was huge. Okay, using the default. When I changed the parameters there in the HTML code, it cut off part. So do I have to live with it being huge?
Well, it depends on what huge means. Let me go to the test page and you tell me what you think. I'm going to go to the test page here, and then I'm also going to go to my regular live page.
Okay.
Okay, so you see how it is on the regular
about that
live
size.
page?
Yeah.
Okay, is that what it looks like on yours? Is that what you consider huge?
Yeah. So I can't make it smaller than that.
No, this is normal. This
Okay.
is where we're at. This is normal.
Okay.
Now, I will show you, there's a little bit of difference here. Not much, it's looking like. I think they made a change, but you know what? We're also on the small monitor. Let me switch screen sharing to the larger monitor. Bear with me, folks.
Sure.
While I figure out which monitor I'm looking at. All right, here's the big monitor, and things look a little bit different on my bigger monitor than they do on a scrunched monitor. So let's see what else. I'm also going to grab the test page, or that is the test page. I'm also going to grab the live page and throw it down. Okay, so this is big. I mean, it really is big, but that's the normal view, because then when I go in, let's go in on the test page as Facebook.
Okay.
And what you get to see is a very large video window, which is excellent, and a great space for chatting.
Okay.
So this is good. This is what you want, because you don't want people to have to go find where to chat and go find where to watch. You want it all on one screen. So this is great.
Okay.
I like it when it's like this. I hope you do too.
Yep.
So now this is without changing any parameters at all in the back end, meaning the width and whatnot. On this one here, if I go sign in here, it should be close to the same, yeah. And that's with all the chat there on the box on the side there.
Okay.
So it's kind of nice because you don't really have to go looking for anything. It's crazy that there's all these scroll bars, but that has something to do with the customization I did behind the scenes with adjusting the width and adjusting the height.
Okay. Well, let me share mine a minute because I plugged my other monitor in.
Okay.
Hopefully this is going to... Okay, and see it's just about the full width of my page. Okay, so that's okay. That's normal size, and that's without changing anything. When
I think it's normal size. The problem is you don't have a full width theme.
Okay.
So those yellow bars on the left and the right hand side are playing havoc with it. But I think if you go in, if you were to log in with your Facebook account and look at it, is everything in the same window, you'll be fine.
Okay. Okay, because when I fooled with the height and width, it cut off this bottom part, the
Yeah.
signage
Yeah,
part.
and that's because of those bars on the side.
Okay,
Because you have those bars on the side, it's not a full width theme in your website.
gotcha.
Okay, they're saying that they see Heather, and yet I've got John's camera highlighted.
And that is responsive, is it, Heather?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now I've got Heather's camera highlighted again.
Okay, so do you think ready to move on to the next part?
Yeah. Okay, apparently there's a lag because Michael just said, okay, now it changed to John.
Okay. Okay, so I am now in the last event of the series, and I decided, you know what, I want to extend this to the Saturdays in September as well. So I'm in the edited function of that last event. It hasn't happened yet, and I've decided we're going to extend it 4 more times. So I click that Show More Options, and I add 4 more occurrences here. See how it says Add? And it defaults to 10, so you have to change that number, otherwise you're making 10 occurrences. So I'm deciding there are 4 Saturdays in September that I want to do this, so I added 4 new occurrences, Add Now, but before I do that I'm removing the link to Google.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to click Add Now, and it tells me they were added. Done. So when I go to my schedule of events, which I have to wait for it to load them, I now see that I'm scheduled into the Saturdays in September. And they all have the same title that I had of that one event. And that's pretty much it. Now, there is one other thing. And for that, I'm going to get off of screen share.
Okay, and it appears that she has now frozen up.
Oh, sorry, did I freeze?
Yeah, okay, you're okay now.
Okay, so if I have used the embed code on my website, then when people go there to that link or to my website link, they will get the current show that we are in. At some point, and I don't know exactly the time, and Michael, you're out there, so you tell us if you know, at some point it switches to the next event. So that means that people who want to come back and watch later, because it's a recurring event embed code, it will go to the next event and say you can now register and comment in the next event. So what if you want them to see that event that just happened today? What if you want them to see that? You have to then give them the replay link, and I'll show you where you can find that replay link, and I'll show you how I've implemented it on my website. So, screen sharing again. So we go to that one that's for this Saturday and the edit function, and I go to advanced settings. When I'm in advanced settings, remember customization is where we got the embed code. Now we're going to go to the manage tab. And the manage tab has this thing right here called the replay link. I can put that into my website. I can go ahead and do a bunch of different things with it, but I can just put that into an email, whatever I want to do, however I want people to be able to come back and watch this any other time. Okay? And I'll show you on my, where is it? It's not easy doing this. I don't know how Michael does this. All right, so here's my video treasure chest. This is where I store the past show that we just did. So it was done a couple of months ago now, but this is the past show that you cannot see. I don't know why it just did that, but see if I reload it. Okay, so there's the past show, part 2 and part 1, and you can log in and watch them right there on my website page, so that way I get the time spent on my website. Where are you guys?
Okay.
There you are.
Okay. Well, Michael says they were supposed to fix this so the current show is available all during the show's end time you define.
Right, and
whether they actually have or not, I don't know.
okay, so I think this is still a bug that's in working, because if you leave the end time as always open, which I do, so that way anybody can go back and watch these shows anytime, then there's no way for that to work because it will always be overlapping. So there's still a bug there that we need to fix on that, I'm sure. And I seem to be one of the only people who uses it that way, so that's probably why it's not as widely reported. So let's see.
Yeah, but when
Make the event
you
last
first
4
set it
hours.
up, don't you have a start and end time for the event?
That's probably what I need.
I think
That's probably what needs to be done. You're right. Okay, let me go in. I'm reading what he's saying now. Okay, so however, 4 hours, because it never shows an end time. Okay, so that's the fix then. You have to make sure, let me write that down because I need that in my notes. Please, talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. Chatter, chatter, chatter. Yeah, I'm, okay, this is 4 hours because it never shows your end time. You have date and time for the next day. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. There is apparently still a glitch in it. We'll know Friday tomorrow morning.
Well, I guess the question is going to be, what do they put as their end time? That's what we have to find out. Maybe they didn't do it. I was thinking opening and closing. I wasn't thinking the end time.
Yeah, because the end time and the closing are totally unrelated to each other.
Yeah, you're right. All right, now that you said it that way, I think I'm going to go in and see.
Okay, Michael says we can now invite him in if I like, and I like. So here comes Michael. There's the man.
Yeah, and it doesn't show an end time on. I'm going to screen share that. So here's after we have added, we've added our extended occurrences, the next 4 in September. See how they got added to that? Mm-hmm. So the boxes are there so you can actually register for them all now that I've added them. But notice there's no end time. So that's probably the trick to making sure that this will work afterwards. Definitely. Good idea, Michael.
Yeah, but there never has been an end time on that, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, it's never shown an end time.
So any questions on recurring events so far? Because that's pretty much the end of my presentation. We've talked about all the points that I had to add.
No, that was all pretty clear. Very good presentation.
Yeah, and I don't have any. I have wondered about that end time. Okay.
I asked all my questions.
Well, didn't we have this issue a few weeks ago when people were trying to come in because the show had already stopped broadcast button had already happened?
Yeah, so when he extended the time, exactly. So that's what I learned from it too. You can actually make the end time the next day because nobody ever sees how long the event's supposed to be anyway. That it's only there for you. So if you wanted people to get in there the next day, you could just make that date whatever. But I do believe Heather is somewhat right. Like if she has something every Tuesday, she probably doesn't want to have it go for a whole nother week because it might conflict. I'm not sure of that, I haven't
Well,
tested it.
well, but the key is though that I want people to be able to come back and watch it any time until the next one, but I also want people to come into the next one to be able to ask questions or
Yeah.
register for it, because I always advertise ahead of time. But I never thought about changing the end time. I was always thinking opening and closing, never end time. So
And I'm wondering if you do change that end date or that end time, whether that checkbox will still be there. I'm real curious of that.
Well, okay, so in this example here, let me know if you can see it. Can you see it now?
Yeah, vaguely.
Okay, in this one here, this is for the upcoming one. I changed that time to be 4 hours later, to end 4 hours after 7 a.m.
Okay.
So the checkbox is still there, but do you think it will be?
My point is, let's say, okay, you do your event at 7 a.m.
Uh-huh.
If it's 9 a.m. and somebody wants to come and see it, is that checkbox still going to be there? That's what my question is.
Mm-hmm. That's something we still need to test, because we have not.
We could absolutely test that. Because we can set up an event right now for my time, 9 o'clock, and then let it go past, but make sure that the event's there, and somebody come in and see if they still see that that checkbox there. I mean, that's definitely something we could very easily test.
Yeah,
but this is all good stuff, and we're getting very technical on people that are coming back and watching.
I was just going to say to the gentleman in here with us that I've only used recurring with the new setup twice now, because it was just brand new, and then I took a break. So that's why we're talking about the ins and outs of how does it work, because it's a new thing and we don't have enough experience in it really. But this is how we learn, right?
But in your recurring event, is there an overlap between the two events? Like the event we're doing now, when it ends, will people automatically go to your next event, even though it hasn't happened yet? Or can they access both? You know how sometimes before an event, it's nice to have people show up and ask questions or leave comments or whatever.
And just so you know, Bill, your mic is breaking up for me. I don't know if it is for everyone else. But
good. I'm glad you said that, Michael, because I was thinking it was just me and I was trying to listen harder.
Yeah, it's breaking up really badly. So just so you know, it's all right. It's okay, I think. No, still.
All right. Never mind.
No,
that's fine. I mean,
I want to know.
We can hear you. We can hear you. It's just that, like I said, it's breaking up, so you might have to just kind of go a little slower.
My question is there an overlap between, say, this event, once this event ends, and you still want people to be able to access this and see the recording of it, but you may also want people to go into your next event that's going to happen on next Thursday night and leave questions or comments or whatever. Do they overlap, or does one have to end before the other one can begin?
Yeah, technically one has to end before you can get into the other one, I believe, because while it's still open, that's why Michael's saying extend it 4 hours so that there's like a 4-hour window when you can come in and watch. And then after that 4 hour, that box should disappear, and now the next one that you would go to would be the one where you can ask questions for next week.
So then
that's the idea.
Yeah. So that being said, the only way people can watch this event right up until the time the next event starts is if you go back and get that
replay link.
The replay link and broadcast it to people.
Well, yes, what I would do too, Bill, just a suggestion, just my thoughts, and throw this in there. You can go back into that event that happened, or no, the next one that you know they're going to be coming into. You can go into the chat box and put in last week's link. You can put that link in there so they can go watch it in that same one, or in the description. If you have the details, and I think it's called the short description, you can edit that and put that link there so it shows up on the event. Here's the show from last week, or yesterday's event or the event of such and such date. That would be 2 ways that you can do that so they can go back and watch without having to go anywhere else or click anything else. Go ahead, Heather. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's good suggestions. The other thing is to remember that Business Hangouts has in place already automatic updates or not updates, emails, and those default emails that they have already have those links in them. So there's really not a lot that you have to do unless you want to customize it for your own needs. What day was it? Monday, I did an impromptu kind of thing where I had said, hey, I want to just hang out with you guys, come and join me, and I used all of BHOA's defaults. I did not customize any of it, and I let it go through pretty well. I think nobody had any problems getting in. I didn't hear of anything being difficult to, be able to watch it afterwards. It was not a recurring event, but I just wanted you to know that the default email letters and things that are there available do have those links in there so that people can go back and watch it later, can go back and experience it afterwards.
And that's a great point, too. That's for people that have registered. I think that's a great thing. But the ones that have not, Bill, or somebody comes later and says, oh, man, these are really interesting. I wish I would have seen those first 2 shows or whatever or something like that. This is really, really informative. I really wish I could have watched those other 3 shows. It depends on how you do it. Like on your event page, like I said, that short description, have those 3 shows, small mini ones. You can even make it smaller ones. Just here's a quick link to come back with text that has a link attached to it. Here's show 1. And then add that link to that show so they can go back and just click it and it opens in a new window and boom, they can watch. That's the way I would do that if you're interested in that type of thing. To me, that's because it keeps everybody in the same place. Now, granted, you don't have the luxury of them staying on your website to watch it, which is what Heather likes to do because she gets traffic to her website and keeps them there. What she does for that, and you can explain this further if you want to, Heather, but I think you do the treasure chest and have that, where the link's there and they can come in and watch on your website, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I embed that right on my website.
And that's
sorry?
That's the replay link that you're embedding.
I actually put the replay link inside of an iframe that is embed on my webpage.
Right. Okay.
That's a little trickier, though. You really have to kind of manipulate it to do it, but yes.
Yeah. No, I understand.
And I'm sure you guys are way more techier than I am, so if I can do it, you guys can do it. Easy. Because techier is a word.
So says the non-tech person. Okay.
So there we go. Did I bore anybody to sleep? John's already kicked back in his chair, snoring.
No,
I made him move so he can unmute.
I'm wide awake.
I think you did an excellent job, my dear. Excellent.
I was nervous as heck because I didn't think that I really knew what to do, but it's so simple. It really is simple that I guess I wanted to make it more complicated.
It's actually harder to describe than it is to do.
Yeah. That's really the key.
It's one of those things.
So the question really becomes, what do you want to do? And we'll try to figure out the best way for it to happen. Because recurring events are not for everybody. That is not something you want to do for, a Tuesday Tech Talk would work for something like that if you plan on doing it every Tuesday. But if it's the first Tuesday of every month, you might want to just do one event and leave it at that. Because then you have a whole month to set up and get ready and promote the next event. So you really don't need recurring in that case. And why make it more difficult?
Yeah, and quite frankly, for something like Tech Talk Thursdays, as long as you've got a Bitly link, you don't need to create the different things anyway. You just use that one Bitly link over and over and over again every Thursday night, and you're done.
Well, because you have a community where everybody comes together and they know to click on this link because you have it in your community. I have my website. That's where I put the link, and that's where I put the thing so people will come to the website to join in. So realistically, it's about what you want to make that happen.
Yep. we pride ourselves in being architects. You tell us what you want, and we will try our best to build it for you.
Is that
In the meantime,
architecting?
we're trying to break stuff too. So.
You're trying to break stuff. No, that's a good point you make about doing it on your website, because that's ultimately where you want the traffic and you want the analytics.
Well, I will tell you that at taking a break, I took all of July off and all of August off from doing my live shows, and I do 2 live shows a week. Every week, and I have done nothing, nothing on my website like that at all since the end of June, and my weekly numbers that I get every week, I get this report that tells me how my website's doing. It actually said, what has happened? What has happened? Your numbers have deteriorated. I stopped doing stuff. That's what has happened.
Time for you to get back on the air.
Yeah. So it makes a difference. I mean, I went from having 2,000 hits a month separated over the 7 day, or a week, I meant, separated over the 7 days in that report to 200 a week.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big difference.
That's typical everywhere, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I think so, but I mean, just, you know, it was kind of an eye-opener as to how important the live show on my website really is.
Yeah.
Well, Heather,
it's also good to know that people are going there and looking for it and miss it when it's not there.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, if nobody's got any more questions about recurring events,
okay,
I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast, but I'm not ending the HOA. Now, we can talk about problems or whatever, but I'll end this so that we get that over onto YouTube.